אבל גם Yom HaKippurim, this is a talk from Rav Dessler concerning our period, Fatenu. Our period is Ikvus de Mashiach, it's the tracks of the Mashiach. And Yom Kippur being the highest level of forgiveness of Hashem for the people of Israel, so has great significance, not only for each individual Jew to gain forgiveness, not only for the people of Israel to gain forgiveness, but as a result of forgiveness, we can have the Geula, the redemption. In the daily prayer, we made the extra requests. After the request for forgive us for our sins, then we have the blessing for Geula, redemption. If we get complete forgiveness, then surely Hashem will redeem our nation. So this is what he says here. The Horovitz Chaim declared that our generation is the generation referred to in the Gemara Midrashim as the tracks of the Mashiach, where the description of great tests coming to the people. We might be in a situation of enormous persecutions, but that is the time when we expect the Mashiach. So this was one of the regular themes of the Horovitz Chaim. And really the Horovitz Chaim, in the influence that he had and continues to have on the Torah community, is enormous. More so today than when he was living. And he foresaw so many things that have actually happened, and he was afraid they might happen. So he says, how can we know this is the Mashiach? Because the troubles come one after the other. And things that in previous centuries developments took hundreds of years. But now, in the everything happens quickly. Every year there are enormous changes. And this is a sign, the art, they're on the threshold of the redemption, in which case everything is done swiftly. So what would the Horovitz Chaim have said, if you would have lived another 100 years? I would have seen everything that passed over us, would have seen the war, the Holocaust, the aftermath. It's easy to estimate. For the duration of the long galut, which the people of Israel have experienced, so many troubles came upon us. But now we're in a situation that these persecutions come upon the people of Israel all together. Things that in previous centuries, there was a breathing space. Not all at once. He says, today what do we have? Enslavement and tortures. People killed by the sword. All sorts of inquisitions and banishments. comes to the Fatziv Kodesh, there's also no lack of burning up holy books, synagogues. Gam pogromim, also pogroms and mass killings in a manner that was never known. We see now we're in a very difficult situation. In Uman, you know what happened? Shabbos? In Uman?
Uman?
In Uman, yes.
In
the Ukrainians hate the Jews, many of them.
Yeah.
On Shabbos, what did they do? On Rosh Hashanah, what did they do? They burnt up one of the tents where they were staying, and the equipment, the loss of $500,000. Well, we should be happy that there were enough policemen around to stop them hurting anyone. But also one of the people went there drowned. Don't know how he drowned. Down to death.
The Goyim, they burned their tent?
Yeah, the day before.
Wait, the Goyim drowned?
I mean, I tell you what, in fact, I mean, I was very close to the greatest scholar of Zaslav before, even when I was a Bochur, close to it. And also, I have a cousin, Baal Teshuva, who's a Braslaver, and he came to me with I signed it with pleasure. He came to me with an appeal. Nowhere does Nachum Braslav say on Rosh Hashanah, people in Yerushalayim should come to Uman. It makes sense. Look, it's doing apparently bringing many people to Torah and to Tefillah. That's a good thing. But there's a lot of risks attached. I mean, there's a place where there's so many, right next to where there were so many massacres of Jews also in recent times. And he was a great lover of Eretz Israel. So he came with a campaign. He said, we should transfer his order to Eretz Israel. And he brought also proof from the writings of Nachum. That's what he would have wanted. Anyway, that's the situation. You know, there's different groups. But let's hope, you know, what's going on in the world, that people will recognize it would be pashtos, if we do like the Horovitz to try and learn from the way in which Hashem is dealing with the people of Israel, and you look at the Parsha of Teshuvah and Nitzavim, if the Jews don't come of their own to Eretz Israel, Hashem will bring, unfortunately, even negative things coming upon us to push us to come to Eretz Israel. The quicker the better.
Yeah? Who says this?
That's how it appears. Let's hear what Abdesler says. It appears like that.
France.
But let's see what he says. Here, but look at our Makoiras, they say. I think the Makor, if you look at the Perush of the Deeper Midrashim and the Malbim, on all the prophecies concerning the Mashiach, if we don't come of our own, then Hashem will cause us to come to Eretz Israel and to return to Torah, which goes together. And this movement, either we do it of our own free will, and then it'll be easy. But if we don't do it of our own free will, and Hashem has given us all sorts of signs, the time has come to do it, we don't do it, then unfortunately things go wrong. Perhaps even before, since this is dealing with the Prophet Chaim's view, I would even say Min Hashemayim, Hashem brought the word of Torah nearer to the Prophet Chaim's message, which he gave constantly in his last years. I'll tell you soon an episode which I've got direct evidence. That the Prophet Chaim, he recognized that there was going to be a Holocaust, or something like it, the destruction of European Jewry before he died. He said it to his Talmidim. Rabban Wasserman was there, and the Panovich Harov was there. And I had the schutz to be close to the Panovich Harov, and he told me himself what happened. He said there are going to be terrible troubles. I mean, he said after Hitler had risen to power. Terrible troubles, so he thinks, unless all Am Yisrael do tshuva right away, there will be terrible troubles, and European Jewry will become destroyed, especially the Torah power of European Jewry. So Rabban Wasserman said to him, well, where it's going to come from? So Horovitz Chaim said, well, in America, Jews are assimilating and intermarrying fast. There's not much chance that there's going to be a return to Torah. So they asked him, what's going to happen? You can foresee what might happen? He said, yes. It says in Ovadia, who speaks to Ferush about this situation, that the Western Nazi movement, represented by Esau, they're going to have this sign of the eagle, and they're going to persecute the Jewish people, and reach a very high point. But he says, where will the refugees go to? Plata. Where will they have a future? In Eretz Yisrael. So Rabban Wasserman said, what? In Eretz Yisrael? But the Jews that go there on the whole, even though they come from frum communities, they go and join Hashom HaTzair. They go and become non-religious. And he said, the Zionist movement is going in that direction already. They both, many of them, they became, even though they'd been in the Cheder, they rebelled against it, became communists and socialists. So what's going to happen? We don't see the revival of Kedusha from Eretz Yisrael. So Horovitz Chaim said, it says, there'll be a remnant in Zion, which is in Eretz Yisrael, and Vahaya Kodesh. Vahaya is Vavahipo. It's called a revolutionary Vav. A conversive, it converts the Vahaya, the past into the future. So he says, it's a Vavahipo, Vahaya Kodesh. Even though today they're not really, can't classify in this time that the Ruach there was holy, but it's going to be a religious revolution, they all come back to Torah. And that's the future. That was his message, generally. So you'll see here, this goes in, what he brings here. He says the fact that all this suffering, that is one of the signs that we're very close to the Mashiach. As it's all described, Chavale Mashiach. Birth pangs are worse just before birth. So listen what it says in the Midrash, Psikta Rabati. Amar Rav Yitzchak, Shana Shemelech HaMashiach Niglabo. The year when the King Mashiach will become revealed, Kol Malchi Umot HaOlam Mitkarim Zeh Bazeh. All the superpowers of the world, they have battles one with the other. Yes, so it's American Korea, there's been Cold War, America and Russia, and there's Russia and Ukraine, and the question of who's siding with who, the United Nations, going on all the time. And even amongst the Muslims themselves, big divisions between one group and the other group, they're killing one another. That's the year when you can expect the Mashiach. It says in the middle. And all the nations of the world, they're all in a state of intense insecurity, and they fall on their faces. And they will then, all of them, have birth pangs like a woman is about to give birth. What happens to the people of Israel? And the people of Israel, they're also in a state of enormous tension, and they're worried, where are we going to go? Where can we come? Let's take French Jewry as an example. As somebody who commutes, he said, in France, the Jews are all in a state of tension. They know that here it's also not so safe. and if France is certainly not safe, where should I go? So, that's why some people think we'll go to South Africa, but South Africa, anti-Semitism is increasing. In America, they'll also be safe. America is also anti-Semitism. So what are we going to do?
In Germany also.
Germany, yeah, you can tell me yourself.
The non-religious go to Montreal. The non-religious French go to Montreal.
But that's still
There's
Quebec.
still anti-Semitism in Montreal.
Especially Quebec.
That's where they
Quebec
go.
is the most
That's where they
anti-Semitic
go.
province
They
in
feel it's
Canada.
more
Okay. Anyway, what does Hashem say to them? This is the Midrash, going back almost 2,000 years. Banai al titrau. Al tityaru. My children, don't be frightened. Hikia yemei gulatchem. The days of redemption have come. So this is now what Abdesler, when he said, what this he said, 50 years ago. Achshav kol umot halam yodim et hamatzav haretzini. All the nations know that the situation on this globe is very risky. Kol shalom ha'olam talui b'chut ha'tzara. The peace of the world is dependent upon a hair's breadth. With one light-headed deed of one of the governments who've got weapons, they can destroy the whole world. The leaders of all the nations, they're terrified. Is not this a clear sign the redemption is about to come? We can't know. Have you already reached the year when the Mashiach will become revealed? But certainly the redemption is very near. We see here fulfillment of what it says in the prophets and the words of our sages concerning the period before the Mashiach, which is happening now. And we should look at the words of the Rambam, who speaks about the external redemption. It's well known. And what he says, that someone, she'enu mechake leviat HaMashiach, he does not wait for the coming of the Mashiach, he has denied the truth of the Torah. So therefore we've got to expect it. V'simone melech HaMashiach, the Rosh v'rishon, what does it say about Mashiach? The first quality has to possess. What the Rambam says?
Has to be humble.
Huh?
Has to be humble.
Humble, yes.
He's
The Rambam says, first quality, Hogeh b'Torah tamid. He always is thinking of what the Torah says. He's linked up with Hashem, with the Torah. And it's like the Melech, it's got a two Torah. He's always thinking how to solve all problems by delving deeply into Torah. V'lama nitavu ha'chachamim v'anivim l'Mashiach. And also, why the prophets and the wise men have a desire there should be a Mashiach? It's very important, this lesson. Lo kadei she'ishlatu ala umot. It's not that we should rule over the other nations. Yeah? It's not that we should rule. The first Mashiach is not that we should have rulership even over the Arabs. Yeah? And rulership over any other nation. The only reason why we have the Mashiach is that Am Yisrael can be freed from Shivud Malchut, for being enslaved by the other nations, or even persecuted and troubled by them, so that Am Yisrael can develop its special qualities of Torah. To know the Torah well, to teach it, it says constantly. So he says, so he says, if we think, what is the outlook of the average Jew? Here, why do we have Jews religious? Most religious Jews think the Jewish state, let's say it would be run, the Jews who want to be run al pi Torah. You think, oh, we should have a Jewish state, should we run al pi Torah, and the Mashiach of Yitzhak will come, he'll become our king. And then, the nations of the world will fear us. And even put it this way, if you look at the Rambam, you look more deep in all words of the sages, the pasuk, the verse, that describes, to some extent, our time. It says, all the nations will receive, that the name of Hashem is called upon you, and they will become frightened of you. They realize the Jews have got a certain quality of strength, but their own army, their own intelligence, some ways make inventions, they easily can produce weapons, and they can protect us. The state will protect us. They think it will solve the Jewish problem. But if you look at the Chazal, not so. Our purpose has got to be not to rule, just to express that God rules. To express it in our lives. God and morality has to rule all the actions of the Jewish people, to make a Kiddush Hashem. We have to make a Kiddush Hashem. And that way, V'yoru Mimeka, the Gaon of Vilna says, refers from you they will learn Yirat Shamayim. The nations of the world, who now many of them, they believe in murder, in suicide, in immorality, they believe in immorality in many areas of life. They just want to spread it as far as possible. They'll change. By the time of Mashiach, and they recognize that our purpose is to be an example for all the nations of the world of awareness of Hashem and His Torah. Do you have any questions, please? Comments? Yeah.
I have a question.
Wait. I'm gonna be leaving. One of the things I heard about the Mashiach was that he is in a state of despair almost always, because every time he hears something happening to Am Yisrael, he feels intense amount of despair. You know, he's in a depression. He's supposed to have simcha, he's supposed to do mitzvahs with joy, but he can't because he sees that his people are suffering.
Hashem, Hashem himself, Hashem has paid. That's correct. The leaders have paid when any Jew suffers.
My question is, oftentimes I hear about this, that why should we, some people say that the Holocaust was part of Hashem's plan, why should we mourn? But all these people died, should we, because so many Jews have died, even if it's part of Hashem's plan, should we mourn? Should we, even if the exile, the Galut was part of Hashem's plan, should we still mourn the lives lost?
Of course we have to mourn. We mourn for it, we're very sad that this has happened. More than that, their plans is, they also say, so some would think, amongst the non-Jews, that some say it didn't happen, and some say even if it happened, it didn't happen enough, and they're trying to prepare it again. So we've got to mourn, we've got to do teshuvah. First the mourn is lit abel, is do teshuvah. What did you wish to say, please?
In the morning, you said someone will be punished for not having hona'ah, for depriving himself for something good.
Yes, joys. Yes.
But at the same time, there was also inyan of not being a kosher gluttonary.
That's right.
So how can I bring these two things together? Because they appear to me still. Once you have the hana'ah, which you should not deprive yourself. We're not here to deprive us from, but on the other side, it said that you shouldn't be looking for the best hashgacha to allow yourself to delve in.
Because it needs control. The desire for pleasure, which all of us have, has to be channeled. To combine it always with a mitzvah. What the symbolic aspect of it, yain yitzamach levav enosh. So wine is a symbol of all the different joys, material joys that a person can have. So it says even that, that Mishle, there are a lot of discussions all over the Tanakh, also by Chazal, concerning abstinence and concerning substance abuse, alcohol. And the right path is the medium path. To make sure that you don't, once you start having a craving for wine or any other physical pleasure, and it's not properly combined with the kedusha of a mitzvah, then it can often take over. And then a person, his main inner desire is to satisfy what happens to be that which excites his appetite, his taste buds, rather than Torah. So what does Hashem say? It's true. When you see around you a great deal of lewdness and permissiveness and immorality, then there's a heter for a person to say 30 days I'm going to do without wine. And otherwise they say the person should make kiddush, which means you should have a nice Shabbos meal. Should be combined with proper brachas, combined with divrei Torah, and zmiras, and the observance of Shabbos. Similarly, when you get married is also one of the great pleasurable aspects of human life. The person goes into it, Hashem says, fine, Boruch has given you this ability, and you should even experience it on wine, because wine brings you joy, but it's got to be, it teaches you the kedusha of marriage. And when you enter into marriage, you must first go to the mikveh, and during marriage also, the wife has to go to the mikveh. There's times when you've got to abstain, in order that your Yetzer HaTov should always be in control of a Yetzer Hara. But in control does not mean to suppress it. It's not suppression, it's called sublimation. You've got to use the instinct for fun and enjoyment to introduce it into Torah and mitzvahs. So that's the balance between the two. When we go out in the sun, you see the fruit trees in blossom, and know they're going to also produce nice fruits. Then the bracha is all the beautiful things you've created. The human beings should have pleasure from them. So therefore you should appreciate it. It better is put even in the Gemara in Brachas, which asks the question of a contradiction. It says the heavens are the heavens for Hashem, but the earth He gave to human beings. Okay, the earth means all earthly pleasures are given to human beings. There's another verse that says, no, Lashem ha'aretzum lo. The earth belongs to Hashem. It's His land, not your land. It's His creed. So Gemara, how does the Gemara answer the contradiction?
It's hot, right?
Yeah, what's it say? Anyone knows?
It says, it's not a stereo, in fact. It's not a stereo, this I know. It's not a stereo.
Why not?
Because...
Why is there no contradiction?
I know why. Because Hashem gave it to men to do the avodas hakodesh, which is, it's like a...
Yeah, that's correct, but what's the Gemara's answer? Who knows the Gemara's answer?
Wait.
The Gemara answer is using that same expression, lehenois, the hanois. The Gemara says that that's before you make a bracha, the whole earth belongs to Hashem. But once you make a bracha, that's your passport to go and enjoy the physical world.
Wonderful.
The bracha is the passport. And therefore the Gemara says that the person also should not have benefit before he's made a bracha. The bracha gives you permission, and gives you the right outlook. I've got to thank Hashem for all the pleasures. And that's why you make the bracha beforehand. Before you go and sit down to enjoy something. So we see how, for example, if it's a fruit you haven't had all the year, you make shechayona on it. And every time you eat a fruit, you make a bracha on it. And the bracha gives you then the right to enjoy it. And even the privilege to enjoy it. Any other questions?
Studying where some people are interested in bracha for next month, since you just spoke about
I'm going to discuss it with the mashgiach.
Very good.
You all think it's a good idea? Brachos for next month? Yes?
That's the basic, that's the first Gemara.
Okay. Discuss mashgiach.
I
I'll tell you why it's also good. Because many of you are, fortunately, studying halacha, or the first part of Mishnah Berurah, the tests and so on, and most of that is contained in the tractate brachos. So it's like a combination to understand a little bit more about Torah and also be able to even make a line of understanding how the Gemara brings you to the Shulchan Aruch. So therefore I'll discuss it with the mashgiach. Okay, I think I'm going to stop now.
No more questions anymore. Just a very short question.
Yes?
Because you once mentioned it already. For people who want to go to the Harabais,
Yes.
because the special way to go there, do you hold that it's forbidden to go even after Tevila, or do you think it's possible to go there? What would you do?
If it's needed for security, to save lives, it's necessary. But apart from that,
To pray there, you mean?
it's forbidden.
You mean to pray there, for example?
Yes.
If you, for example, need to pray for a certain person, you are allowed to go
Go
there?
to the Kotel, but you shouldn't go on the Harabai.
Ah, you should not go for
No.
this reason.
It's forbidden, Api Allah.
Api halacha, it's forbidden. That's the correct answer, right? But the security people, if it's for this, for safe life, then
It's like this. I mean, it's follows. There's two questions. One is the actual courtyard, plates of the courtyard Beis Hamikdash. It's got one din. And there's also the Harabais. The din is that on Harabais, there's a lot of limits. You've got to have to go to the mikveh first. You're not allowed to wear shoes. And if there's any tum on you, it's a migufa, then it's forbidden by the Torah. The place where the actual Beit Mikdash stood, if anybody goes there, what's makes him, then you have a field forest. The soul will be cut off from all future life. Yeah. Now, there are some people who very much want they love Eretz Yisrael, they love going to prison, and they follow the shitta that there are certain areas on the Harabais which were surely not part of the Beis Hamikdash. Yeah. So therefore, some from people, they go and say tefillos there. Try to say tefillos in certain areas. And they find certain partial support in the Rishonim. However, what does this do? This brings hundreds and thousands of Jews who don't take notice of the plaque of the chief rabbin that you're not allowed to go, and they go up. They go up with ordinary shoes, they go up having been to the mikveh, don't even know what mikveh means, and they go up. And that creates a problem. But that is quite apart from the fact that anyone who these days goes to the Rabbayis is provoking the Arabs.
Oh.
And the Arabs are like wild animals.
Yeah.
So we're dealing here with the also the incitement in the Arab world. You know, want to ensure that the Harabayit should not be touched. There's agreement made. And they think there have been plans of certain people to blow up the mosque in the past. Yes, happened a few times. And there's some people that be sure, but they want to blow up the mosque. So obviously, then the Arabs say, well, you intend to blow up the mosque, you blow up your synagogue. That's the way they deal with things. What, you want them to blow up the synagogues? Yeah, the Gedolim, with one unanimous voice, all the Gedolei Torah have been against any Jew going on the Harabayit.
Do you think Rav Kook would be of the same opinion if he were here?
No, also was against it, except if you needed to protect. Now we have to have a lot of soldiers there because of the terrible situation.
I heard the second day of Rosh Hashanah, there was a Nate's minyan. In Rosh Hashanah, in the second day, I went to somebody on Shabbat, and he was there praying with a large minyan. Some could see them and different people there. It was early in the morning, and they were praying very loudly, and the Arabs were going crazy, and they almost had to bring the police in to bring the people out of the kotel. And, I mean, you speak about this often. I don't hear other rabbis speaking about it, maybe because I don't hear them because I'm here. But I think more rabbis should speak about what you're saying, not to provoke them.
Okay.
I don't know why not.